All right, ladies and gentlemen, live from Illinois, live from South Carolina, Fantasy Pro Insiders. I'm your host, The Warden, with my other host, The Guru. Is this the real Guru, or should I bring in the other Guru? Where'd she go?
She's taking a kid, the one kid that's awake, to go get some ice cream.
Yeah. My girl Pam had to get things set for the Guru. Appreciate Pam for always coming through and hooking it up. So
Technical advisor.
All right, man. Good to see you again, Guru. Week 9, baby. Week 9.
Same here.
Week 9, man. You know what I mean? Ready to
right,
dive
we'll
into this action. Trade deadline yesterday. We'll talk a little bit about that, and we'll get into the rankings as well. Before we do that, Guru, you got anything for the fans?
One thing that we have been failing to mention the last couple of weeks. Please, folks, remember to hit that share button. Let your peeps see it. Hit like and subscribe so that way you're on deck with everything that we do. This past year, we did some off-season stuff, keeping up on trades and free agent signings and stuff. And then we did one after the draft, I believe there was, or we might not have gotten to that one. That one might have been after something bad happened. Right. But we are here for you, and we're going to try to be here for you year-round with specials, and we're going to be here up to the playoffs start.
Yes, sir. I already know, man.
Fantasy playoffs, we're here.
We're in,
so
man.
If you want to get us started, Jay, if you want to start with the quarterbacks.
Let's go.
Number one should be an easy one.
Let's get it, man. We're going to go with the quarterbacks, kickers, and wide receivers. Week 9 QBs. Here we go. Fantasy Pro Insider, baby. Number 1, Josh Allen. Big arm out of Buffalo. Got a division rival against the Jets. Number 2, Patrick Mahomes. Number 3, Kyler Murray. Got a good matchup this week at home against Seattle. 4, Lamar Jackson. He's got him a new gift that was gifted to him on the defensive side of things. You know, we don't talk about individual defensive players, but he's got him, and I'm not saying the next coming of Ray Lewis, but we're talking the leading tackler in the NFL this year, my man Roquan Smith there. So I'm sure Lamar Jackson's happy about getting that set on the defensive side of things. They got a poor defense out there this year. Number 5, Jalen Hurts. 6, Joey Burrow. Number 7, Justin Herbert. Number 8, Tua Tags. Oh, man, everyone was dogging this man, talking dirty about that man. Look what he's doing now, man. Number 9, Aaron Rodgers. Heard some rumors out there, but not true. Aaron Rodgers may be traded. That's baloney. That was baloney. You know what I mean? Deadline's already gone. Nope, you don't trade an Aaron Rodgers. Anyway. Number 10, the GOAT, Tom Brady. He's got a matchup against the Rams. I know they're looking for some payback. They got put out last year against the Rams, so let's hope Brady comes back and can put up something against a not so good Rams defense.
Jay, these next two here, they got inverted during the process of skipping them. It's a pretty big inversion between 13 and 14, or between 12 and 13.
Okay. All right.
So 13 is supposed to be 12. And that's not me.
Yep. No problem. 11, Kirk Cousins. Number 12, Geno Smith. 13 will be Justin Fields out of Chicago. He's got himself a new.
That's a big skip, but he has been having he has a couple nice weeks in a row.
Yes, man, and I'm excited.
I don't know how much you can trust him, man. I just don't know how much yet.
Yeah, I'm excited to see him with his new toy this week with Claypool. We'll see how that works out. Got him a big body receiver. Number 14, Trevor Lawrence. 15, Matt Stafford. 16, Derek Carr. Don't get me started. 17, Jared Goff. Number 18, Taylor Heineke out of Washington. 19, Dickhead Dalton out of New Orleans. He's still getting that start over Jameis, man. This is Dalton's team now, until
their offense was on fire last week.
Yeah, man. Until he sucks it up, Dalton's gonna keep leading them. Number 20 with a bounce back game, Mac Jones. 21, David Mills out of Houston. 22, Marcus Mariota out of Atlanta. 23, PJ Walker from Carolina. And 24 should be getting the start this week again out there in Tennessee. And that's Malik Willis out of Tennessee against a tough.
Yeah, that's going to keep an eye on just to make sure. But he played well enough to be mentioned in the top 24 last week or this week. So
yeah, he did. He's got a tough matchup against KC, but with so many buys this week, we had to get him into the rankings this week.
Well,
So that's for if two QB leagues, you know what I mean, that type of thing. He's a guy you can go ahead and
I
insert.
mean, everybody knows that. I mean, uh, they should lose by 30 points, but they're going to be down huge that whole game. They're going to have to come back and catch Tampa. That's the only way they're going to have to. And nobody's got really figured out a way to match their firepower yet. But yeah, they're going to have to throw a lot. So even though they may get beat, the only way to even try to keep up with them is try to keep up with them, I guess, and throw the ball.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just an offensive juggernaut, man. And it doesn't matter who's receiving for them. It doesn't seem like they're just kicking everybody's tail.
Yeah.
So that's why I mentioned the quarterback at 29, because just out of necessity, they're going to be throwing a ton. Now, he might get 4 picks, and
Right.
He probably won't. But I think he's going to have decent enough number. He's going to have decent enough numbers to be a usable quarterback two, QB2.
Right.
Against the team that he's playing against.
Well, Kansas City they're going to dial it up against him. So look for a heavy dose early on. Look for a heavy dose of Derrick Henry just as last week. But then once Kansas City get things out of control, they may let the young boy, maybe throw it out a little bit, use his legs a little bit, see what this young boy can do. All right.
Derrick Henry looked like a monster last week.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Matt Braver, you cannot tackle him. You cannot tackle him. You know what I mean? You cannot tackle Derrick Henry. So let's move on to the kickers. Yeah. All righty. Top 24 kickers this week, week 9. Justin Tucker, Evan McPherson out of Cincy, Tyler Bass, Will Lutz out of New Orleans, Harrison Butker coming in at 5. Number 6, Daniel Carlson. Number 7, Matt Gay. Number 8, Jake Elliott out of Philly. 9, Ryan Suckup. 10, Dustin Hopkins out of the Chargers. 11, Young Ho Koo out of Atlanta, followed by Matt Prater from Arizona. Then we're going to go with Nick Folk, followed by Jason Sanders of Miami, Randy Bullock out of Tennessee, Jason Myers. 17, Greg Joseph out of Minnie. 18, Mason Crosby. 19, Chase McLaughlin out of Indianapolis. We're going to go 20, Mike Bagley out of Detroit. 21, Riley Patterson out of the Jaguars. 22, Cairo Santos from the Chi-Town Bears, Monsters of the Midway. 23, Joey Slye from Washington. And rounding out the top 24 kickers, Greg Zerlin out of the New York Football Jets. Matchup at home against the Buffalo Bills. That's your kickers.
Yep.
And hey, let's roll right into week 9 wide receivers, man. Who are these quarterbacks going to throw it to this week? Who do we got here? We got
There'll be a lot of new names.
Yeah, I see. There's a few guys that took some dive in these rankings here. Number 1, Tyreek Hill. 2, DeAndre Hopkins. 3, Justin Jefferson. 4, Stephon Diggs, followed by Devontae Adams out of the Raiders. 6, Cooper Kupp. He's getting in, but not as you would like him to, with Stafford out there struggling. No running game is not helping as well. 8, DK Metcalf. Amon Ray St. Brown of Detroit coming in at 9, followed by number 10, Jalen Waddell in Miami. Chris Godwin next at 11, A.J. Brown from Philly. DJ Moore of Carolina coming in at 13, followed by the speedster out of New Orleans, Chris Olave at 14, Mike Evans, Tampa Bay, 15. Number 16, Devontae Smith, followed by Tyler Lockett at 17. 18, Terry McLaurin from Washington, Juju Smith-Schuster at 19. Keenan Allen, number 20 out of the Chargers. 21, Michael Pittman. 22, Tyler Boyd out of Indy. 23, Gabe Davis. 24, Jacoby Myers from New England, followed by Christian Kirk, 25 out of Jaguars. 26, Devin Duvernay from Baltimore. 27, Adam Thielen out of Minnie. 28, Romeo Dobbs from Green Bay, followed by Rondale Moore out of Arizona at 29. Josh Palmer with the Chargers at 30. Darnell Mooney coming in from Chi-Town. Going to be having a tough matchup with my man Josh Howard not Josh Howard. Howard from Miami, the corner. I can't think of his first name.
It's going to be rough.
Ammonia,
well, they're going to have to score points somehow.
Exactly. Hopefully Clayton can get in there. 32, Brandon Cooks from Houston. Marquez Valdez Scantling out of Kansas City at 33. Mecole Hardman, Kansas City, number 34. And Robert Woods coming in at number 35 from Tennessee. And that's going to round out the wide receivers. So, there are some changes in the rankings, especially early up top. So, Guru, you want to dive into that?
Well, yeah, I mean, just with so many teams on a bye, there was bound to be some flexing or whatever up at the top of the rankings. The one that moved up because one that T. Higgins moved up to number 7, and not because of the bye week situation, because of the injury situation.
Right.
They have their number 1 receiver. He's going to be out for they say 4 weeks. I don't know if they actually
4 weeks.
IR, but he'll be out for 3 more weeks after this. And that offense didn't miss a beat, at least this past week. They looked okay. They were moving the ball quite a bit, and they're going up against a pretty soft defense in week 7. So hopefully it moves on and gets kicking for them, because that team, for as good as you want to say they are, the record is not indicative of how well they've had some bad losses early on.
Okay,
so they have to start panic mode now. It's it. We're halfway through the season, and they've got more losses, they've got more losses than wins.
Right.
It's time for them to turn it around right now before it's too late. There's no more messing around. If they go into the hole any further, they're probably not going to make the playoffs. And that team not making the playoffs would be a crime because they're too good not to. Let's see. From Philadelphia, we have receiver there, Devontae
Smith.
Devontae Smith, yes. He's been very, very steady this year. And he's going to continue that, I think. And he's got, he's just been very, like I said, very steady, very dependable.
As far as the weak matchup,
he's not blown up, but he's not the high ceiling, but a very high basement, if you will. He doesn't slip down. He doesn't break your heart and put up a 3-point week very often. And I don't think that's gonna. I think he's gonna have a huge game this week. Maybe I'm crazy because he hasn't exploded and broke out yet this year. I mean, he's had some nice games, but I'm talking, a 2-touchdown, 145-yard game. I think that's coming up this week.
Okay.
So if you own him, or make sure he's not on your bench. Then one last one. Chris Godwin.
Okay.
All the talent in the world, and I would hate to say that the GOAT has lost it, but I think Father Time has finally caught up to him. But because he's got all the talent in the world around him, and they're still not getting it done. Now, they do have an atrocious offensive line. 2 of their top offensive linemen from last year are injured now. And that's gotta just be brutal. But that said, you gotta figure a way. If you're Tom Brady, you gotta figure a way to win. You gotta figure a way to get the ball in your hands faster.
with a weak division, Atlanta's not gonna do anything. Carolina, New Orleans. I mean, the only ones that can give them a run will be New Orleans, but Tampa Bay's got to show up, man. You know what I mean? Atlanta's not gonna continue on with this.
Yeah,
I mean, they're pretty good at home right now, though, but they'll get things going, man. They just got to get this win this week. Against the Rams, going to be a tough one. They got to get it though. They got to get this win. It's almost kind of like a must win here. You know what I mean? But with that weak division of the NFC South, I can still see them coming and winning that division.
yeah, they do have a pulse, but it's flickering.
Right.
So I think there's too much experience and too much talent there for them to
Right.
continue that. I think they're going to be fine, but
Yeah.
if they don't turn it around and start stacking up wins now,
Mhm.
again, it might be too late. And I would hate to see the GOAT go off without making the playoffs in his last season,
Yeah.
and that would just be a brutal way to end your
Yep.
career.
Yep.
Maybe wait to get him to come back next year, though. So that's what I got for those guys. Do you have anybody you want to talk on as far
No,
as the QBs go?
no. Just looking forward to some matchups this week, man. I was looking at who was this here? Obviously that Tampa Bay and Rams game. Looking forward to seeing that. Looking forward to see. You talked about Justin Fields. They're at home against Miami. It's going to be a tough game for them. But I like to see. I'm excited to kind of see what they can do with Claypool coming in now. Not that he's the number one receiver, but they've got now, if he can dive into this playbook a little bit, probably throw him a few sets here and there. It's a little too early for him to get all of that playbook, but some routes, maybe some jump balls, some routes across the middle. See what Justin Fields and Claypool can do. Mooney will get his a little bit, but I don't see them beating Miami, of course, though. But I'm excited to kind of see what things could look like. You know what I mean? They are still what? Let's see. They're right there in the middle of that division. Minnesota's taking the lead there with they're 6-1, but they're right there with Green Bay 3-5. They can just continue to squeeze out some wins. You never know, man. You never know, especially with this weak NFC South and weak NFC West right now. If the Bears can pull off some dubs, you can see. So I'm excited to see that game. But that's about it for this week. Besides that, Rams and Tampa Bay. Nothing that's really catching my eye on these games this week. If I was a betting man, I would think that the favors of those games should be pulling those games off. Only one I will be worried about will be the Green Bay and Detroit game. You don't know who's going to come out. You don't know what team from Green Bay is going to show up, and they're playing at Detroit as well too. Now that Detroit's great, but they're playing at home. Golf is not doing bad, but Green Bay is doing bad though. You know what I mean? That's the between that game and
I will say this, if you don't mind me to chime in here. I do have Cooper Cup down at 6. I've had it number 1 all year, but there's an injury concern. He may or may not play. Everybody needs to keep their eye on that situation. If that was my wide receiver, I would not risk it. But then again, they're got themselves basically in a must-win situation too.
right,
So it may be necessary to run him out there injured, but
right,
yeah, it's questionable right now whether he's going to play. That's why I got him where I got him. If they say in the next few days that he's definitely going to play, then just catapult right up there to number 1 because he's just a freak as far as the best going right now.
yeah,
Haven't seen anything like this since Randy Moss hooked up with the GOAT years ago when he set the record for touchdowns in the season.
yeah.
We haven't seen anything like this guy. He was 7 points better or 6 points better than the next wide receiver per game. 6 points per game better than the best wide receiver last year. That is or the second best receiver. That is a huge gap. And I believe he's pretty much at that point now too. He's a freak. You got him, enjoy it, but make sure he's in the lineup this weekend.
Yeah.
That really is the only other thing I have to say on the wide receivers. You got anything else? Or
No, No, that's it, man. Those are my matchups this week. Looking forward to seeing some of those guys. Um, no, nothing really, man. So, we can go ahead and wrap this up if you got nothing else, and we can go ahead and take a little break here, grab a quick snack while we reload for session two, and we can get these fans. Same thing with the running backs. Some changes up in there, so I'm sure they're looking forward to kind of seeing, who's at the top, who's at the bottom, who they can possibly insert. So, what do you say we go ahead and take a quick break, and we'll get right back to them.
All right, folks. Again, if you don't mind, like I said at the beginning, hit the like, hit the share, subscribe, keep us hot, keep us active, keep us near you because we'll do everything we can. If you write us, we'll answer you if we can, if we have enough time. Um, we tend to take a lot of time out of our days. If we do get the letters coming in, we'll take as much time as needed to answer as many as possible. So definitely hit the like, subscribe, whatever you need to do to keep us giving you the info, and we promise we'll be here.
Sounds
And on
good,
that
man.
note,
Let's take a
we'll see
quick
you on the flip side in a few minutes,
sure.
folks.
All right, brother.